Well, this is SNES Game Review 145, and the game I'm reviewing now is Poppin' Twinbee. My 100th review for this project was Poppin' Twinbee Rainbow Bell Adventure, and I mentioned in that review that I should probably have reviewed Poppin' Twinbee before Rainbow Bell, but that I couldn't and wouldn't be doing that as I didn't own it. And if you've been listening to me for a while, you'll know that I only review things I have an actual cartridge for. Well, so I'm drawing to the end of my project and I've started being a little more picky about what I review. I've looked into a few things I've really wanted to review but didn't own, and looked into getting them. And so I grabbed this game, Poppin' Twinbee, purely to do this review. Poppin' Twinbee is a top-view shoot-'em-up game originally released in March 1993 by Konami for the Super Famicom, which is the Japanese SNES. It was never released in the American market, but it did make its way to the PAL regions during November of 1993. If I was to try and explain this game any more, I'd call it a vertical moving cute-'em-up shoot-'em-up. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, the first game in the Twinbee series, Twinbee, which was an arcade game, alongside Sega's original Fantasy Zone, are the games I'd say kick-started the whole cute-'em-up genre. This game, Poppin' Twinbee, is in fact the 6th game in the Twinbee series, but in all honesty, when it came out here I had no idea that it was part of a series. Maybe because it was the first one to hit our shores, and back then we didn't have the internet and the freedom of information we have now. I have fond memories of playing this when younger at a friend's house, but as far as I can remember I never actually owned it. In fact, I don't remember ever seeing it out in the wild or having the chance to grab it. I guess that's the good thing about collecting as an adult. It's a lot easier to earn the money to buy the games and then to go through the trouble of finding them and getting them yourself. People might moan when paying £20 for an old game now, but remember when we were kids these games were the in thing and we frequently had to pay more than that. There was no internet to help track a copy down, and you'd either have to take a bunch of buses looking for one or beg your mum and dad to drive you about. Okay, I just want to quickly say that I wanted to record some footage of my own for this review. And although I do my reviews based only on a cartridge, I played the game heavily to review it, but to record this footage I cheated and used an emulator. It's just a lot less hassle than hooking my Super Nintendo up. Okay, so on to the review. Okay, so the gameplay is pretty much like any other shoot-'em-up you'll have played. You travel up the screen shooting enemies and collecting bells, which you can either just grab straight away and gain points, or you can shoot them. If you shoot the bells, then they'll change colour, with each colour representing some kind of power-up. If you learn what colour means what power-up, then you can start trying to shoot things until they become the colour you need to gain your desired upgrade. You can get a speed boost, a shield, a split shot, a satellite. This bell-based system of power-ups really gives the game a unique feel. At times the screen can be full of enemies and bullets, yet you not only have to think about shooting and avoiding them, but you also need to think about the bells. Should you grab the bells now, or would going towards them see you shot and damaged? Or can you afford to shoot them enough to turn them into the desired colour? It helps that in this game it's not one shot and you explode. Nope, you actually have a life bar, so maybe you can afford to take a little damage if it leads you to getting the desired power-up. You don't just have to worry about the enemies in the air at the same height as you though. In fact, you have your regular shot, but you also have a separate lock-on weapon which can hit enemies who are below you. Then you have a bomb button which causes your ship to spew a multitude of smaller bees, which cover almost the whole screen attacking. If you hold down your lock-on button, then you can use this to deliver a short-range punch attack, which doesn't seem all that useful to me, but it's still kind of cool to be able to do it. The game has 7 stages, each with a boss at the end, and you can either play alone or in 2-player mode. I find 2-player to be pretty cool, as when playing with 2 players, certain options are available to allow you to help each other. You can give the other player a bit of your life energy to replenish theirs, or even use your teammate's ship as a projectile against the enemies. In the option menu you can switch between normal and couple mode. Now couple mode is something which is very interesting for a multiplayer game like this. If you select couple mode, the game's enemies will primarily attack player 1, giving player 2 a much easier time of things. This mode is intended to allow less experienced players to still enjoy the game. This is something which I really like, as it would allow you to play the game with a partner or a child who's less experienced. It's something I'd frankly like to see in more cooperative video games. I think it's also important to note that this game has 7 different difficulty levels, which is quite a lot by most game standards. The levels also do seem to have quite a bit of difference to them, so it's not just a cosmetic 1, 2, 3, 4. They actually affect the difficulty. I think this is great, as not only does it mean that there should be a level which suits you, but it also gives some replayability, as if you finish it on one level, you can always try to finish it on a higher level. Well, up until you've finished it on level 7, that is. Not only is Pop and Twinbee incredibly cute, hence me referring to it as a cuter mob, but it also obviously has a very strong anime influence. The game has lovely colour-filled backgrounds. Realism may be cast aside in favour of cuteness, but detail certainly is not. The first stage sees you fly over forests, crops, fields and towns. This is pretty good for a first level. Some games would have saved each of these types of areas for a level of their own. This game's always providing you something new to look at, and it's not just the stages. The enemies are all also varied, ranging from normal looking ships to angry vegetables to flying attack pandas. Throw on top of this the fact that you have cute short little intermissions between levels, and the game is just so delightfully cute and, well, Japanese. The audio is also, in my opinion, so darn happy and enthusiastic. It really sets the mood for this game. It just fits the whole game's personality perfectly. Add to this the fact that they're great sound effects for the shots and explosions, plus some really cute little bits of voice acting, including little pained cries when you're hit and shouts of glee when you grab an item. The game's just dripping in charm and personality, to the point that I simply challenge you not to smile at it. In fact, if it doesn't make you smile at some point, then I think you might just be dead inside. So what would I score this game? Well, I'd give it an 8 out of 10, and that's coming from someone who's really not that big into the whole spaceship shoot 'em up genre. Okay, so if you're looking to get this game, if you're interested, how much should it cost you? Well, first it's important to mention I'm talking about this from a British perspective. So I'll be talking about it in pounds and how much it would cost for, someone from here. I got mine for £11. But looking online, most often a loose British cartridge PAL will go for £18 to £25. And I think that's fair. It's a good game. I need to say that if you're not the sort of person who'd usually go for a shoot 'em up, well, this might still be worth a look, because it's just darn cute and happy. And I've got to give it a big shout out for its range of difficulty and for its couple setting. If you've not been into shoot 'em ups in the past, but you'd like to try something, I do think this would be a great gateway game. Anyway, I'd like to say thank you very much for listening to me and for watching this video. And I hope you join me for more future SNES reviews, either here or on my blog. Thank you very much. I'd just like to say, if you've enjoyed this review, it's obviously one in a large part of many, a lot of which can be found on my very own blog in written form, which is at www.ker9000.blogspot.co.uk. I can also be found on GRcade, and I'd be happy to talk to you about my project or any of my other reviews or work, either via YouTube, via my blog, or via GRcade. I'm hoping this will also be the first video of many. I'm not sure that I'll go through all of my 150 SNES reviews in this fashion, but I do also have old Mega Drive videos on here, which is something I might get back into. If anybody's got any suggestions or would like to leave any feedback, then feel free to message me in any of those places. Okay, thank you very much. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm sure I'll talk to you again. Goodbye.